with others who were as dirty as he was. Tony kept thinking how he'd spend his dough. His share of the money from herding the cattle could take him wherever he wanted to go. He was just 26, but he felt more like 40. For too many years he'd been riding this land, feeling the heat from the sun in the daytime, sleeping at night on the cold desert sand. His mind was made up, he'd be leaving on Sunday. He'd ride on a train to the east and the north. 2,000 miles from Cheyenne, Wyoming. His ticket would take him to a town called New York. We all have our dreams about what we want life to provide. Somehow the grass seems so much greener on the other side. And in New York, at Delmonico's restaurant, a waitress named Rose moved some beef past the bar. From the kitchen she carried a plate to the table to a rich, hungry man who smoked a cigar. A porterhouse steak, now smothered with onions, had once been a part of Tony's big herd. Rose served the banker, he forgot to thank her. He blew smoke in her face and he said not a word. Now Rose had been waiting for just such a moment. She grabbed his cigar and she threw it on the floor. Well, his face turned as red as a Wyoming sunset. Rose slapped him, then smiled, and she walked out the door. We all have our dreams about what we want life to provide. Sometimes the grass seems so much greener when it's on the other side. Rose had been reading those dime Western novels. She knew that on Thursday she'd be ready to leave. When that day arrived, Rose stood on the platform and she felt someone tall gently brush past her sleeve. It was a cowboy named Tony. He gave her a smile, then he was lost. Rose found herself on the westbound Sunset Flyer. The wheels soon were clicking that old railroad waltz. The months quickly passed and Tony found work He wrangled the beef there at Delmonico's, awaiting the tables, paid his expenses. But Tony was unhappy with the new life he chose. We all have our dreams about what we want life to provide. Sometimes the grass seems so much greener when it's on the other side. Meanwhile in Cheyenne, Rose worked at a ranch. They were short of good hands, and they sure needed cooks. She drove the chuck wagon and she followed the cattle. It was not as romantic as she had read in the books. Rose soon decided that she didn't belong there. The romance she sought was not in this place. And Tony was fired from Delmonico's restaurant when he punched out some dude who blew smoke in his face. He returned to Cheyenne and he stepped off the train, and he felt something warm gently brushed by his sleeve. He looked down and saw a buckskin-clad Rose. He grabbed her with both hands before she could leave. We all have our dreams about what we want life to provide. Sometimes the grass seems so much greener when it's on the other side. Hey, I know you from somewhere. Yes, smiled Rose. It was in New York City not too long ago. Soon they were walking, they were laughing and talking about a cigar smoker at Delmonico's. They found what they wanted right there with each other. The warmth in a touch and the love in a kiss. It's not where you are in life that makes you happy. All that seems to matter is who you are with. Now, from what I've been told, they lived happily ever after. No sorrow, no regret, no problem and no pain. They wrote their life story and sold 1,000,000 dime novels about a cowboy, a waitress, and a train. We all have our dreams about what we want life to provide.